So,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit story about myself. I've been training for full time since December last year.
Perfect.
I have
Okay.
blown yeah, and I have blown up account last month, and I'm kind of restarting again.
Sorry to hear that.
Um, well, I think that's part of the process you have to take, isn't it?
That is, I was
Um,
gonna say that 100%. You are dead on right. 100%.
so I'm starting like I think my major problem is management and sizing. Like position sizing is the biggest problem. Sometimes I'm in the run. Sometimes if I'm right, I'll be making money say 4 days out of 5. But
Hmm.
if I lose it, I lose the
Big. Yeah.
whole week. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
that's how I blew up my account pretty much.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I blew up my account 9 times. 9 times.
Okay.
I think
I'm
seven
I'm
to nine.
probably very close. I'm probably not far off from you.
How many times have you blown up?
Probably similar. Very similar to you over the years. Over the years, yeah.
I hope it's a small quantity.
I hope so. Like if you look at a long-term journey, I hope that's a small price I pay.
Yes, I hope
Um,
so too. So,
yeah, yeah. How are you going now? Like, what sort of level stage are you at the moment? Are you actively mentoring people, or?
no, I'm just Alhamdulillah, I'm doing really well. I've been trading for about 12 years. I
Oh,
am consistent and profitable. I'm sizing up. I had my biggest months this year, biggest year so far. I withdrew my biggest money, so I just try to
wow,
give
that's
back because, I went through a tough journey, not just trading,
yeah,
but so many other things. And I was like, why the hell not to give back? Uh,
awesome.
I guess yeah, we
Okay,
don't need an intro. So,
yes.
by the way,
Oh, thank
it's
you so
cool
much.
that if I record this, because more than likely other people will have the same question.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine if you want to record it and post it on your YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I think it's sometimes that I remember that's one of the things that helped me a lot because
Yep, yep,
we have to always kind of, for me personally, this is a
yep.
competitive field. So
Yeah, absolutely.
what I used to do is like I used to go to the gym and people would think I'm listening to music or I'm driving the car if I'm going on a thing. I would
Yep.
listen to podcasts. I would listen to some things. So I always
Yeah, I
try
do
to,
too. Yeah.
yeah, and that's how I like, got a bit further and I always try to do, I'm like, okay, what helped me? And then see if I could give back because it's not an easy journey. But you were on the right
Yeah.
path, by the way. You are not the first one. You're not the last one. Every single person that I've talked to
Yep.
has risk management
The other
issues.
thing that I'll have to tell you that is I have not really actively trading US market. I've been trading Australian market. I'm living in Australia. So
Ah,
is it okay if I share my charts in Australia, like Australians stocks, not US stocks?
I don't know. All I know is I do want to visit Australia one day. That's as far as I know. I don't know how
I,
much difference there is in the Australian stock. I don't think it should be. It should be very
yeah, I
similar.
think yeah. Charts are charts, right? Risk management are
Yeah,
risk management. It should be
yeah.
the same,
It's psychology.
except the US market is a lot more volatile, which I'm watching at the moment, and because the US market starts at midnight. So if I do trade it, I'll only be trading for the first couple of hours. I have been actively looking at trading US market in the last month or so. I've been just doing paper trading. So far, the charts I'm going to show you are all Australian market, ASX market.
That's completely fine. I'm more than happy
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
over it. And if you have if your entries and exits, um, we
I
can.
do. I have my notes on it
Oh,
too. So I
that's how you know
that's
you're getting there. That is how you know you're getting there. And trust me, you will get there. Just like some people, I can initially just the first few interaction and conversations that I have with them, I kind of get a really good glimpse
yeah,
of what's gonna happen. So don't worry.
yeah. But Right.
Okay.
So, would you like me to like send you the chart or
Yeah, send it to the Discord. If Are you
in
new to
here?
Discord?
Your pardon?
Are you new to Discord?
Fairly new, very new indeed.
Oh, okay. Do you know how to send the charts in Discord? It's like the plus
Just to
button.
add, right? And the
Yeah.
plus button. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
Continue one.
How is Australia, by the way, weather-wise?
It's getting cold. We're in the southern hemisphere, so our weather is completely opposite to you guys. Are you in US? Are you living in US?
I'm in Canada.
Canada? Yeah, we're completely opposite.
I see. So maybe I gotta come during the winter time. I've heard so many good things. The only thing I'm scared about is the snakes. That's it.
Snakes. Oh yeah.
Hopefully you guys don't
Well,
have them.
I don't get that quite a lot. Like I have not seen. I'm immigrant, so I'm not originally from Australia. I've been here for 12, 13 years, but I've never seen a snake on the street actively.
Oh, when you say you're
uh,
immigrant, what's your background?
I'm Chinese background.
Ah, nice, nice.
And you, what's your background?
I'm Afghan from Afghanistan, but
Uh,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
been.
all right.
I would love to go.
All
Okay, so let's
right,
look at this.
I'll send you one.
Yeah, can you send me like three, four, just so we never get perspective on
Yeah,
one? I always like to get other
sure,
perspective.
sure. I'll send you heaps. Um, so, like you said, I'm fairly new to Discord, so I be a little bit slow.
It's completely fine. So how did you get the accent? That's interesting. If you don't, is
What
that
is my accent? What is my accent? Is it
it's Australian.
Aussie? A little bit Aussie?
It is Aussie. So do you
Yeah, yeah,
get
I've
that
been here
accent
for
if you?
13 years.
That is
I've
so
been here for
cool.
13 years. So, to some level, I have adapted to
I
this country, I think.
I have never thought about it like that. I've
I'm
never
not
thought
sure.
that you could adapt an accent. I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting. It's not something I
How
thought
long
about.
have you been in Canada?
Uh, I think same as you, probably 15 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I have a
Mm.
Canadian. Do I have a Canadian accent?
A little bit.
Well, sometimes they say A a lot. You know what I mean? A, A. You know,
What is it?
Canadian people are really nice. No, just the word term A, A.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell that you've been living there for a long time.
Yeah. By my
I've
niceness, right? Because most Canadians are nice.
they. I've seen some Canadians that aren't that friendly. I mean, Canadian Canadians. Yeah, not immigrants. Yeah. I
What?
think it's the cultural thing. They're more upfront than Australians. Really upfront.
Oh, Australians
Like
are upfront.
Americans, like they can act very much American. Like just a very can be abrupt, really abrupt sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like we're upfront. I'm not talking about Canadian Canadians. Just like I'm sorry, I'm not talking about immigrant Canadians. I'm talking about just real like Canadians.
But are
So
you
I've
saying
seen
Americans are upfront or Canadians are upfront?
Americans more upfront,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
fronting,
yeah,
fronting put that
yeah,
way.
yeah. Yeah, Canadians were too nice. Even if something bad happens, we're just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Canadians are
we'll avoid it.
friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is nice to be honest. I really love that. It's
Hmm.
always, I mean, yeah, we get screwed over, but we live
Yeah,
a happier life, in my
I
perspective.
guess Canada's um, more so like Australians, more laid back lifestyle,
Mm,
so more easygoing.
mm.
I've sent you quite a few, and
Yeah,
I've got heaps more to.
while we were talking, I was going through everything,
Yeah, yeah,
and I was trying to see if I can see some sort of a behavior pattern, because often, more
yeah.
often,
Okay,
it is a behavior issue.
okay. I'll send you more.
No, I mean this is good. This is content. We can go over some of it.
Yeah,
So
you reckon?
yeah, yeah. I just want to go over double check. Um, This like I just if something stands out, I just want to look at it. I see some.
Sorry, all these errors are manually inserted
Oh,
on my
that's
trading view. Alright, so it's
okay.
not. So if you see it, if you think it looks a bit weird, that's just my manual doing.
That's fine. Um, so yeah, I do see one universal issue.
Yep.
Let me just double check if that is the case. Yeah, seems to be. Well, every single one is manually entered. Every single
Yeah,
transaction.
every single one is manually inserted.
Oh boy, how do you know how
No,
accurately is it done?
it's
Because that's
so annoying.
dear. Whoop, yeah,
That's
that's useful. Okay, I know what's going on. Huh?
unfortunately, softwares that we use don't have that feature in Australia.
You know what? You remind me of Canadian market platforms suck balls too. Excuse my
All
language.
right,
They're
yeah,
horrible. They're horrible.
it's really bad. Like we don't do many hotkeys too. Like that's why the market is a bit slow, and you can tell by the volume is a bit slow too.
I was
So,
just looking at the volume. I was like, holy smokes,
by
35,000.
by the way, those ones are just micro to small caps. Small caps. Okay, I'm not. There's no medium caps in here.
Okay, so first off, so the main biggest problem that I saw
Yep,
was a disciplinary issue. What I
yep.
mean by that is a lot of the times you kind of stopped out before your entry unless your plan was to stop out at break even.
My plan was to make a 2R minimum.
What does minimum mean?
Minimum to make it 2R, like a risk return at least a 2R, two return. Does
Okay, so
that make sense?
no, but it's okay. Let's look at OSH. I want to ask you a question if when you pull it up.
Is it the second one?
Uh,
Third one.
OSH.
Yeah. That's actually a small to medium cap.
Okay.
You
But
can tell by the volume, it's so tiny, isn't it? Even a cap like that.
hmm. So when you
Okay.
entered, what was your ideal? Because you do risk analysis, right? So the example is like if you're whatever you're risking, you adjust your share size, right? Do you do that stuff?
Adjust my share size. Yes, I try to. Like when the risk is higher, I try to downside my size.
Perfect. So let's talk about this entry. You entered here. What was your risk?
My risk was the prior low.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think the
now,
prior low,
now
just
I
2.15.
okay. The prior low, wherever that I see. It's
Yeah,
just the prior low. Okay.
yeah.
So I don't know how many videos you've seen of helping one-on-one traders or um, so this is right now it looks like in our head, in a normal person's head, it looks like you did a good job. You cut it before you
Really?
hit your stop, right? It looks like that, but it's
Yeah.
actually
But
why is it? But it's a really bad behavior that you're
uh,
establishing. Why do you think that is?
because the trend is not moving upwards, it's still downtrending.
Well, yes, that is one issue. But what's another issue? I'll give you
The
another. It has to do
issue,
with discipline, and it has to do with your
mm,
mindset because your risk
yeah,
management is your mindset problem, and you taking a loss is your mindset. So, in this situation, if you had waited till your stop out, you would have stopped out for a loss, but you cut
yeah,
it
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
This early cut, you may think it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. Why do you think that is?
Uh, do you follow your plan?
Yes,
Always follow your plan. It doesn't matter if it's wrong, then let it run.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So
Okay.
now, what does that do to your mindset if you are preemptively changing your plans? What does that do?
Um, it's just a bad habit of constantly changing your plans.
Yeah.
Once you have a plan in place, you stick to a plan. Don't change it.
So what happens if you constantly change your plan?
Then your mind gets too messy. Like you don't have a set plan in use when you need it because you constantly change it as if there's no plan in place.
Exactly.
The
And then
future even.
how does this correlate to taking big losses?
Mm. Because that is a big problem because of lack of discipline. Sometimes I would adjust my stop loss. You know what I mean?
Pause for a
That's
second. Pause
that's
for a
my
second. Pause for a second.
that's the biggest.
No, no, no. Pause for a second because this is the most critical aspect here. What is the correlation between this trade where you lost less money than to the time that you lose 10x, 20x where you blow up your account? What is the correlation between those two factors?
Not disciplined enough.
Not disciplined enough, yes. And
Not following my plan.
exactly. Because what happens in this case scenario, subconsciously, you're tapping yourself at the back, be like, oh, look at the market. I saved a little bit more money. The market wanted to take more. I didn't take more. I made a good decision by cutting early. So you're
Mm.
establishing a bad behavior. You are
Yeah.
forming a bad behavior. And sometimes I'm very
Yeah.
rude at this, so don't take, I've never had a female on voice, so please don't take anything I say to heart. But
That's okay.
I always try to take it to the perspective. I try to make it graphic so that it sticks out, so that we tend to remember. So
Yeah.
when we do behaviors like this, I I feel disgusted with myself. Anytime anytime I make money when I have disobeyed my rules, I've added to a loser, like one of my rules is don't add to a loser, or I've disobeyed my risk and I made money, I get disgusted with myself. Like in one of the other things I said, this is what I used to do, and this is a very graphic thing.
Mm.
In a weird way, I subconsciously used to visualize like spitting on myself or whatever the metric is. You have to get disgusted by you breaking your rules, whether it's you
Mm.
save money, whether it's you make money. If you didn't, we're not gamblers. We are not gamblers. If you're gamblers,
Yeah.
that's what 50-50 is. You're gonna lose 100% because
Yeah.
if you're taking undisciplined stuff and you're just changing your things off the task, you're competing with somebody else that's more disciplined than you. So if you're gambling something and you make money by breaking rules and you take that trade 10,000 times, so in this trade when you cut it early or another trade when it goes against your risk, you add to a loser or you don't stop out, you take that trade 10,000%, 10,000 times, you know what's going to happen, Angela? Some of the times will the what happened in the past, the reoccurrence of losing your account, that's exactly what will happen. So while we can look at this is an important lesson. While we can look at the trades where you took big losses, I saw this correlation among your other charts. It
Yeah.
all comes from disciplinary issues. So you
Yeah.
have to follow the plan. So in this case that you took a small loss, it's if you had taken the loss at the bottom, and you know what, you would have bottom ticked it. You know the algo would have stopped you out and it would have went your way.
Yeah.
That was the correct thing to do.
Okay.
That was, I mean, one thing to improve. Maybe you could have a wider stop, but that doesn't matter. Even if you stop out there, you take this trade and you follow your plan. If you have something that's consistent, you follow that 10,000 times, it would work. Like there, you would have
Mm.
literally bottom ticked, and I know that, and I know that would have sucked, and I know looking at that would have been like, oh, that's freaking horrible,
Mm.
and then it would have came back to your even. You would have been more frustrated, but it doesn't matter. It's like you you have to follow that plan because that's what keeps you alive.
Yeah.
So,
Very
okay.
true.
So, yep. The other times, let's look at DDR. So, one of the other things that I noticed, I hope this is not like 30, wow, 35K, 6.5K. So, you gotta follow. Are you familiar with what RVOL is?
Is that sorry?
RVOL, relative volume.
Relative volume. Yes, yes, I am familiar with that one.
So try
Use
to,
that quite a lot.
okay. So one aspect that we talked about there is from disciplinary issues, um,
Yep.
which is a very big key factor in in being in minimizing your losses and risk management. It's a very, very important factor. And if you can't stop out, I always say use hard stops. Um,
I try to not use hard stops, but some very liquid stocks do shake it out very hard if you put hard stop.
yes, so that's the other
But
thing. The second point that I just
yeah,
mentioned about Arval, I have ADHD, by the way, if you don't notice. I will go
again,
and
sorry.
I have ADHD, so I go back and forth.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that's okay.
um, so when I was talking about Arval, what I was going to recommend is you should, your stock selection, to be honest with you, is not the greatest. And I may
No
be,
volume, but like most stocks are like that, except
yeah,
medium to large caps. Volume volatility is completely different than US. US with $2 stocks, you would have a huge volatility, huge volumes like our big stocks here. So that's kind of normal-ish if you just start looking at the volume. For instance, OSH, that is,
but it only moved from
yeah,
$3 to 296. Like it doesn't have range and it doesn't have volume. It's a normal stock.
um,
Is that normal?
yeah.
You
Is
would,
it normal that has less range?
yeah.
It's normal for this stock. It doesn't really move that much. Maybe I chose the wrong stock. Right. Doesn't have volatility
What I'm saying is you need to
a
pick
day.
your stock selection needs to be better because you need to so it's not about the volume, it's the volume compared to yesterday. That's what our vol is, right? Yesterday, day before.
Yeah, yeah.
So you need to be in a
Okay.
stock. Is this was this a high RVOL day for this stock?
Not for this stock.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So the RVOL on this day was not high, so you shouldn't be in it. So
Okay.
the range from this, even if you were short, the best at like theoretically would have gotten like a 304, and then you would have covered at 296, 294, whatever, 296. It's
Mm,
not a lot of
mm,
movement. So one thing you should work on top of the risk management is stock selection. Be in stocks that have relative
mm.
volume, because you're a day trader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have a range, you're gonna get chopped out, and you are gonna. And you know what? When there's no liquidity, they can't see where your
Mm,
stops are. So
yeah.
100%, yeah. So that's the other thing.
Mm.
Okay, so
Very good.
stock selection and yeah, like this is a very, very consistent pattern. Look at PAR. PAR. When you long that stock, entry good long, risk one pullback to 1 minute. Stop loss should be at the J line shown in the green. Exit. Wrong stop loss got shaken out. Look, even like this is the same pattern. What happened here? When you longed, what was your risk? The bottom, right?
Yeah, the bottom.
Yeah.
Check.
Why did
Let me see. I actually didn't put um the red bit is the exit. My stop loss was very tight. I put the very, very tight stop loss and got shaken out.
but how can your stop
Everyone's, yeah.
loss? Wait, did you stop out at your stop?
Stopped out at my stop, but the stop loss. The hard stop loss that I put in was too small.
Wait,
My
you entered
entry
231?
was about 30-ish.
Okay.
My stop loss was 229, something like that. Only 1 to 2 points away from the entry. 1 point or 2 points
Okay.
away from the
Okay.
checking out. If I had up my stop loss at the green arrow,
Right.
I would not been shaken out.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
my entry was wrong.
Well,
Stop loss, yeah.
if you're no no, if your plan, if you're are you positive that your original plan when you got in at 230, your stop loss was 229?
Yeah,
Okay, that's not bad. That's good. As long as you followed your plan. Could you have had a better stop? Yeah, you could have. Yeah,
sure.
100%. So it's okay. It's okay.
But the stop loss is not my planned stop loss. Like usually, according to my plan, usual plan, my stop loss should be at the line, the yellow line there. But I was trying to lose a bit even smaller, put in the stop loss even closer to my entry. So
Why do you
if
want to lose smaller?
I, I don't know, I just got too scared, I guess, of losing.
Yeah.
And the other
Mm,
thing is that usually I only lose maximum up to 3 points. If I put the stop loss at the line with the green arrows, that is 5 points. That is more than what I normally can lose.
you say
That makes sense to you?
5 cents?
5 cents, yes. Yes.
Why is your stop based on cents?
Um, it's just how I normally manage my risk. Don't want, because the stock, if you look at previously,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really move much. If it the quickest move from 220 to 235, which is 15 cents. So if I risk 5 and may not be able to get 10, I mean, for this trade.
But
So
on every single, like on average, your risk is like 5 cents.
my average is about 2 to 3 cents.
So, Angela, my question is, if what happens if a stock moves $1, $2, and has so much
It doesn't
volatility?
really it doesn't really happen in Australia that much for like it can be, it can happen one day, but it doesn't happen every day. Stock
No,
like that.
but what happens at that scenario? Is your stop still roughly going to be the same?
Very likely,
Okay.
depending on the chart, but it would be a prior low. It was very close to my entry, ideally.
But you would still be risking around 5 cents or so.
Maximum, maximum. Usually, I would be less than
Um, there's a fundamental issue there
that.
because, I mean, I guess if it's working, okay, but a lot of the times what I do is I adapt to the chart. Who
Yeah.
am I to tell the chart what to do? I adjust my size. I don't keep my. So you were. Do you know what an absolute value is? An absolute. Do you know what that term means?
No.
Okay. So in every single trade, if your maximum loss is 5 cents a share in every single trade, sometimes a stock spread is $1. Sometimes in the US market, stock spread is $2.
Yeah, that's the problem I get with the first chart I sent you. I think it was the first one because the spread was so big. I
Okay.
got
So
hammered that for that trade.
why am I saying it's a fundamental issue? Because you're adjusting the wrong size. More than likely, you're keeping your share size the same. And I know it's easier for our brain to
Yeah.
keep the 5 cents at risk. It's a good rule. It's like I can see why it would help you think. But have a when I started, I had a little chart in front of me. So you
Okay.
would see if 20 cent loss, 20, 30 cents off. You let the chart kind of dictate. So in your scenario, Angela, I think from your perspective and mine, and it may not be wrong, is you are keeping your stop maximum 5 cent constant, and
Yeah.
and you are, I guess, are you changing your share size? What I'm saying is I adjust my stop. So my share size is something that fluctuates. So if you're keeping your share size must be constant too. I guess that's why you do
My
it.
share size are fairly constant. Fairly
Yeah.
constant.
So you're
But if it's very illiquid,
mhm.
high risk, I would reduce my share size to half.
Mm.
Yeah, usually are very constant
So what I do,
size.
Angela, is I try to do rough, simple calculations in my head. And I always adjust my share size to the stop. Some stocks require us to have a 30-cent stop. Some stocks require us to have a $1.50 risk.
Okay.
So what you do, sometimes you take 1,000 shares, whatever. How much on average do you risk if you're comfortable with saying?
Money wise, you mean?
Yes. If you're comfortable sharing, if not, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
No, it's okay. It's about 3% of my capital. I'm only trading tiny now, like
Okay.
$5,000 as my capital.
Okay. That's completely fine.
So
So you're
yeah,
risking about $150.
yeah, that previously was per trade, but now I'm trying to make it as per day, 3%.
That's completely
That's
fine.
why I'm cutting share size are really small.
Completely fine. Completely fine. But my point is, never be worried about the dollar value. You can trade 10, you can risk $10, $20. It doesn't matter. It's all about, but you have to do things in a good behavior, a good fundamental way. Angela, from my perspective, uh, this may be like a bit different, but you do need to adjust your size. You do need to adjust your stop. Adjusting your stop is mandatory. It's very much mandatory. You adjust your stop. So sometimes if you were risking 5 cents, you should have a different share than if you're risking 2 cents, or if you're risking 15 cents or 50 cents. If something has a 50-cent risk, you can't just give that a 5-cent risk. You're gonna get stuffed out, chopped out. And you know what will happen, Angela? You will lose your confidence. Confidence is a key important thing.
Then if usually, say for instance, usually I risk 3 cents or 3 points. Okay. If one day I put my stop loss at a very low level, say 15 cents, 15 points,
Mm,
my account will be blown,
okay,
be
so
blown up again.
this is an issue. Look, so I'll keep an example that
Yeah.
uh, it's a $50. So a daily max loss is 150. Let's say each trade we're thinking a $50 risk, right? So in a
Then,
simple,
like, sorry, to start with, then how would you allocate the share size for each trade in this case?
perfect. That's
If
exactly
it
what I
was
was going
you,
through. That's exactly what I was going through. So where our entry is 230 and the stop is 225. Is that correct? Yeah, 230. So let's just say, you know what I would do? I wouldn't even stop at 225. My stop would be 223. I would be below that. So in here,
okay,
I would be risking
then
7 cents, right? So
wow,
7 cents.
that's a lot. Yes,
But check
okay.
this out. So 7 cents, and
Yeah.
we have, if I would do 50 divided by 0.07, that means I can roughly, in my head, it doesn't have to be that accurate, but roughly around 700 shares. So
Okay.
if I do, check this out, Angela. If I do 700 shares and I lost 7 cents, how much do you think I would lose? How much dollar?
I need to go by percentage. Sorry.
No, no, that's fine. You need to have this printed out in front of you. Have it in increments of 5 cent, 10 cents, 15 cents.
Ah,
Okay, so if you have
okay.
700 shares and you take a loss of 7 cents,
Since that is how much percentage? That is 2%, isn't it?
no, no, how much dollar
Right.
value do you lose?
All up, if it's 700 shares times
700 shares.
2.3.
No, no, 700 shares and you took a loss of 7 cents.
Calculate it. Is it 2.
So we're assuming your entry was 230 and then you stopped out at 223, below that.
So that is $21. Is it $21? Is it right?
Did you do 7 cents?
7 cents. Yeah. I'll go by percentage. Sorry, I don't know how to calculate. I don't have that formula.
No, no, no. So what it would be is if I had 700 shares and my entry was 230 and I stopped out at 223, I would lose 7
3.
cents. So the math would be 700 multiplied by 7 cents. 700 times 0.07.
$50. Yes. Okay.
$50. Are you content with that loss?
Um. Hmm.
Or is
If I
that,
trade 10 times, I'm not quite sure.
then you reduce your size.
700 shares times 3, that is $2,100 of each trade. Dollars $50. I guess so. I guess 50 divided by 100 is about 2%, 2 to 3% per the trade. That is per trade. I'll be losing 2.4%
No, you would
for
be
this
losing.
trade alone.
No, for this trade, you would be losing. You would be losing 1% because you're losing $50. What I'm trying to say, Angela, is you can
Okay.
fluctuate your share size, and you need to, from fundamental good behavior point of view, you need to adjust.
What? How? That's the problem. I don't have that software. I know, like I've seen people on YouTube using the trading platform to calculate the share size for them automatically, but I don't have the.
You don't need
I
to.
don't have that.
You don't need to. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna go to the inbox here, and I'm gonna do the math for you. Okay.
All right.
So
Okay.
we're gonna
Mm.
go through a scenario where you are
Yep.
risking 3 cents. Okay.
Yep.
So
Okay. Yep.
what are you risking on? Let's say, give me a number on per trade. How much are you comfortable losing in one trade? $25, thirty
Yeah.
dollars,
Around that. Yeah.
$25.
20. Yeah. 25. Let's see.
Okay.
Usually,
Okay. By the
I
way,
only try to lose maximum 1%
one
from
percent.
each trade,
Yeah, 1% is fifty
which is
dollars.
yeah. Mm.
But let's do twenty-five
Get,
dollars
yeah.
for comfort's sake.
You're right. You're right. It's the share size that I sometimes struggle. Like I just use um like a rough estimate guess to
Okay.
insert a share size. For instance, if I lose more, I would reduce my share size, but I don't know exactly to how much.
Okay. So are you
You know what I
comfortable?
mean?
Do you want me to put your risk to $25 per trade, or you want me to put it to $50? $50 is 1% of your account if you have a $5,000 account.
All right, let's do that then. Yeah, $50 then,
Okay.
1%.
Okay, Angela.
Yeah, I'm
So
happy to
how much do you
trade.
get charged out of curiosity per commission basis? How much do you pay?
It's 0.06%.
Okay, fine. That's good. Okay. All right, Angela. So this is
For,
the math
for
here.
us, we charge by the total dollar amount
Okay.
each trade.
Okay. So this is something that you need to write down. So on average, if you are risking 3 cents, so 50 divided by 3, risk.
Do you have a certain formula or like in Excel spreadsheet type of thing that you can just type in quickly and it comes out exactly how much shares you buy?
I will tell you so that you never ever need a formula. Give me a few seconds.
Okay, thanks.
0.05, no worries at all. 50 divided by 0.05, 0.05 risk, 1,000 shares. Formula right here, B risk divided by share size. Stop. So 15 divided by 10, 0.10 monthly risk equals 500 shares. Okay. See, Angela, what I wrote there is something you need to take it. Um, you don't have to print this, but you can take that, extrapolate it to 20 cents, 25 cents, a dollar. You need to do that all the way to 50 cents to a dollar. Okay? And you need
How,
to,
like, how did you what sort of formula were you based on to come to that conclusion?
so what I did is a $50 divided by your stop.
Okay. The amount of a stop, amount of a loss, dollar amount of
Yes,
loss that
because
I'm
you
willing to lose,
divided by the risk.
divided by the risk
The risk is
cents.
determined by the chart, not by your heart, not by your
Okay.
feelings. You need to extrapolate that out, Angela, into all the way with 25 cents, 35 cents, 50 cents, okay? And you need to start using
Okay.
this. This is a critical level. Why? Like,
Yeah.
so in every single scenario here, Angela, you're losing $50. And
Yeah.
$50 is 1% of your account.
Okay, so I can just plot this formula into my Excel, and then every time when I need to
No,
to
no,
enter a trade, it just calculates for me how many shares I need
no.
to.
You don't need to do that, Angela. Extrapolate it out. Do you want me to do it continuously for the other ones? Like 15
No,
cents?
no, no. I should be. No, that's okay. Okay, I see what I mean.
And then print it out.
Print it out,
Print it out and
type
put
it
it
out,
there.
print it out, put right in front of my computer. Then I
Exactly.
know. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha,
And then
gotcha.
you
Oh,
could just roughly look at it. So here's the thing. Let's look at the trade of uh, PAR, okay? Here you had a 2 cent stop. You know what would have happened, Angela? The trade would have went your way. It would have went to 35, and then you would have gotten stopped out here, back here at 14 something. You see that?
sorry. Which one? They're the
PAR,
same.
PAR.
They are.
Yeah. So you see, you said you had a 2 cent, 3 cent stop. So
Stopped
in
out. Yeah.
yeah, it stopped out. But guess what? Even if it
Mm,
went your way and then you had a 3 cent stop, look, you would have stopped out again. But
yeah.
then it would have went your way and then you would have stopped out again and then all of the sudden you would have went higher. But if you had
Mm,
adjusted your size, Angela,
mm,
Angela,
mm, mm.
down to 227 and you would have risked like in theory here it's 5 cent risk, but I always try to go a bit lower. So 225 is the low. I'll go 224, 223 as my risk. So here what
Mm,
you were
mm,
doing is you were risking 6 cents, and then the
mm.
stock goes to uh, potentially 240. I don't know if it went higher or it stopped there, but here you wouldn't have stopped out. Does that make sense?
So, that's the end of the day. 240 is the
Okay,
close of the day price.
so you were risking 6 cents. You wouldn't have been
Mm,
stopped out if
mm,
you take this trade 10,000 times, Angela, and then you
mm,
have a 3 cent stop. You're gonna get stopped out multiple times because look at the time
mm.
right before 14:45. You would have stopped out there because
Yeah.
you had a 3 cent stop. You would have stopped out before that. After 15:10 or something, you would have stopped out.
Mm,
So
yeah. Again. Yeah.
you gotta listen to the chart. The
Mm,
market is the
mm.
king. We are just as humble little peasants. I don't know. That's a messed up way of thinking about it. But the point
Yeah, yeah.
conceptualizing is that we are adjusting to the market. The market's not going to
Mm,
adjust to
mm,
us. So you have to adjust to the market. So in a
mm.
scenario like that, your trades would be a lot more. You'll be more confident. You won't be paranoid. You will. It'd be easier for you to obey your stop when you do this. You definitely need to print that out and put it there.
Very good idea. Really, really good idea. Because a lot of times when there was once that I did calculate the share size, like using your formula, but I forgot about it. Then
This is
the
why you
other
need
thing
to
I
print
think
it out.
is when I, like, if I didn't print out the time you calculate the share size, sometimes you're late for the entry.
Okay, but that's the
So
thing.
it's good that I printed it out. Yeah,
Printed it out and then just get
need
a
to print
rough
it out.
estimate. You don't need to. It doesn't have to be to the
Mm,
T. You don't
mm,
have to be like 1,666 shares. Do 1,500 shares. Who cares?
mm,
You gotta do what you
Very
gotta
good
do.
idea.
Yeah.
That is my major problem, share size. Mm,
That, and I think that your biggest problem is you don't obey your stop. You don't
Mm,
obey your plan. Okay,
mm.
so here's
I
another third one.
adjust my stop loss sometimes.
Hmm?
This is my big. I sometimes do adjust my stop loss.
Don't do that.
The other thing that I do, I don't know if it's
That's
correct
because
way to do.
you
Okay.
to be honest with you, it's because you lack confidence. Sorry to cut you off. The reason why you adjust your trades, your stop, you should never do that. Before you enter a trade, you can't be second guessing. Don't be second
Mm,
guessing yourself. When you enter a trade, you just let the trade work. Even if you make
mm,
money, so when I said earlier, if I am in a trade and I take my profit
yep.
just a bit above, I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable. I get a bit disgusted with myself. Even the same concept when I lose money. It has our performance should never be attached to our P&L. Never ever ever should be attached to the P&L. It's
Mm, mm,
always how we performed. So when you enter a trade and you have a risk, then you should just obey that risk, even if you stopped out,
yep.
because you build confidence that way, and then you actually, you learn more from it. Because there's so many, to be honest with you,
Then
Angela.
like
Go ahead.
with then okay, if you put entry in $2.30 and you risk 5, what's the return when you before you enter? What's the return would you be looking at
That's a really good question.
to
So I
list
would be looking at
itself
the
for
high of
half
the
of your
day.
share price?
I would be looking at the high of the day, which is, it looks like, so you see the first time it went high, 230, what is that? 230, it looks like 230,
6 or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
237, something like that. Yeah, 237
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like. So I would be looking at something like that.
That's a bad trade to start with, right? Because you're risking 5, but you're only making 3,
No,
5.
30, what is that? 7, 37, 38. What is the top, the
Yep,
first one?
around 36, 37.
37. So you're risking 5, 6 to get that. Yeah, that's, if I had to take that trade, then I would have to have something like that. And I know it's not ideal, but it's sometimes in the US market, if it breaks that, it tends to go higher. So
Yep. Do you trade US equities and Canadian equities both,
no,
or
just
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 trade
US. Just US.
US?
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
And
But
honestly, to be
what's
honest with you, your stock selection, I said, like I mentioned, because this,
mm,
what time does it start? 13:07?
yeah. Stock was actually fairly heated for that time, from around 12:30 to 2 o'clock. It was like straight line up with the kind of volume.
So I never trade stocks that have um, low volume or that start middle of the day. I always trade the ones in the morning. Like I have a
Yeah.
scanner. No, I don't have a scanner. I just look if a stock has to have a lot of when it opens up, when the market what time does the US Aussie market open? Is it 13:07?
US time, you mean?
No, it just in the
Um,
trader view.
um, no, no, it opens at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I traded at 1:30. Sorry, around after 2 o'clock. I traded this trade.
Yeah, but what time does the US it opens at what time?
And for me, it opens at 11 o'clock p.m.
11 o'clock. So for the first 2 hours, the stock PR didn't have much volume, right?
This is Australian share.
Sorry, yeah. So the first 2 hours in Australian market when it was open, the
Oh,
stock didn't have volume.
let me just have a look. Actually, I don't quite remember. It was before that, the stock has gone up from $1.50 to $2 a few days before. And for that, for on the day, it was quite volume. It was quite, yeah.
Just the only thing that I'm trying to say is like stock selection is an important critical for me.
Mm,
And
mm.
if the stock didn't open, I don't know if this is 12 midday Australian time and that's when the market opens, or if the Australian market opens at, based on this chart, at 13:50. I don't know what that is. Uh,
That is Australian time, not US time.
right. So does your market open at 13:30?
My market opened at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. So from 10 a.m. till 13, it didn't have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
volume. It was just choppy. So for
Yeah.
me personally, my trading style, I wouldn't enter this trade because of the liquidity issue and because of the volume.
But then if you look at the 1 o'clock, oh, sorry, 1:30 to 2 o'clock, it has
A lot of volume,
all of
yeah.
a sudden, yeah, surge of volume. Would you consider still?
Some people would, I wouldn't. I like to be in a stock already that has a lot of volume.
Maybe, maybe you have a lot of money to put in, but for my little
No, no, no,
account,
no, no,
it's
no,
sufficient
Angela.
for me
It
to.
has nothing to do. So a lot of the
Okay.
times people get misconstrued that they have a small account, that they're less, and they have to be. That's very interesting. I didn't think of it like that, but I've gotten that trend. It has nothing to do
Mm,
with your account. Stock selection is stock selection. So
okay.
it's not when I say what I'm trying to say is it doesn't in US market we have midday runners, like we have the same similar pattern where it's like in the morning throughout the day it will have no volume, it wouldn't move, and then 1 p.m. it goes up and down. And it doesn't matter if you have a small account or a big account. I'm saying it's a good behavior to be in a stock that has good volume from the morning. So
Okay.
even we have stuff like this in our market. For me, it's harder to play these. It's tough. But in the
Yeah.
morning, if there's a lot of volume, you can buy the pullback because
Mm,
when it has nothing to do with like volume in terms of like, oh, I'm gonna buy like all the big size volume. What I'm referring to, it has a good follow through. Sometimes midday runners do continue, sometimes it washes on you, especially if you're going to be in the US market. It's a lot more difficult. But in
mm,
the opening volume, you can, if it's even, I'm sure in the Aussie market, if it opens at 10 a.m., whatever, whichever you said, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., if
mm.
at that time, if there's significant volume coming in compared to yesterday, that
That is a
that will
trade.
ha- that will be
Okay.
more fluent and it will have a bigger range.
Yeah.
Whereas these ones, middle day, they tend to go sideways. You need volatility to make money. So
Mm,
has zero thing to do with your account size. Don't feel insecure. Don't feel bad. Don't feel if anybody judges you, they can fuck off. Who gives a shit? The hell with
mm.
them. It has nothing to do
Yeah.
with your account size. Nothing. It's a good behavior, good pattern to
Mm,
have proper selection. And my recommendation, Angela, one is adjusting your size. Two,
yeah.
be better stock selection. You can do that by making sure our wall is really strong and don't be in the midday chop fest. Um,
Mm,
and third thing that I would strongly recommend, Angela, is to have a daily max loss. So
yeah.
you mentioned 150 is your max loss.
Is it a too small?
No, no,
Reckon 3%. Yeah.
there's no such a thing as too small. And I mean that in stock market, it's it is it's and then get your broker to do it. Don't worry about your the size.
Oh, my broker doesn't have
I'm glad you're not a
doesn't have
broker.
that
You
feature.
this would be a weird conversation telling a guy, don't worry about your size. Uh,
No, I mean, like my broker doesn't have that feature to set a maximum stop loss. Unfortunately,
yeah, that sucks. So you have to be very
no,
disciplined in that, but try
we
to
don't have so many options to choose.
you know what? As
I
consumers, we
am.
don't
I
know.
have signed up with the Trade Zero,
Okay, yeah, they're
um,
good. They have
Trade
a
US stocks.
They're dickheads, but they're good. You can borrow platforms. You'll have to pay for a lot of shares if you're shorting, but if you're longing, it's good. You can provide liquidity and finance.
That's my problem. Like because my share size is small for US equities specifically,
Yeah, but
trade zero,
you have to get
the
comfortable with
the fee
trading.
is very high
Why? Oh,
because
it's free if you
like
provide
no,
liquidity.
it's a dollar in and out.
No, 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 no. Oh,
So
because you're trading.
like, if I'm to trade it that now, like I'd be only starting with 100 shares with US equities because I'm just testing the water,
Okay, perfect.
and
You're
then
smart.
then the like the commission for me is too high. Like I think it's a dollar in and out to start with.
Okay.
Unless I try at least 200 shares, but I'm a bit too scared to try.
No,
Like
do start with 50. Angela, start with 50
then
and then adjust
yeah.
your size, okay? So when you go there, you need to do this for your Aussie, and then you need to do this, Angela, have another sheet for 25 cents, for 50 cents, for a dollar. You need to have another one like this. So here, I'll
Mm-mm-mm.
do one. Here, one sec, I'll do something for you here. So 50,
Okay, I still that's for US market. Yeah.
yeah.
Then the problem is like with the trade zero because if I trade 50 shares to start with, there's no way I would make $2 back, right?
Yeah, you
My
would.
commission back.
Yeah, you would.
It would be really hard because I think I'll be losing lots of money on commission purely.
No, 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 no. One sec.
No,
One sec. So 50
because
cents.
if you only trade 50 shares per stock for micro stocks, for instance, only like those $2 or $3 of stocks and plus borrow fees, it's a killer.
Well, borrow fees if you're shorting. Are you a shorter? Do you short?
Yeah, I am.
You're
I
a
think
short seller, really?
if,
Actually?
if I am primarily a short seller,
Oh,
primarily.
I didn't know that. You're a
Um,
fellow short seller. That's nice.
Probably I'd say 70% short seller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
short
nice.
selling, 30% of long.
Nice.
In the last week or two, I tend to long a bit more. I don't know why, just for whatever reason, attracts me the longs. But usually I'm primarily a short seller, unless I change my attitude to long for US equities. I don't know whether that makes a difference.
I am uh,
But
I am a short seller as well, so
yeah,
I try not to. I don't know what to tell you.
lots of big money made short
Yeah,
selling if you do it very well.
but the risk management is really bad too. If you don't have a risk management, you can blow up really hard. So I
Yeah,
sent you
tell me
another
about
sheet.
it. Mine was shocking. Mm.
So I sent you another one for like 50 cent risk, 100 shares. That's equivalent to a $50 loss. And then if your risk is $1, so in US markets, you will sometimes have to put in a $1 risk based on what the chart tells you.
That high one. Okay, I guess depending on the stocks. Yeah.
Here, you want to see some examples? How long have you been
Hmm?
following me for?
Say it again. Sorry.
How long have you been following me for?
Not very long, to be honest. Sorry.
No, let's not do
I've
that.
only been active on Twitter for like a month or two.
Okay, no, don't be like that because I was gonna
I'm
show you some stuff.
very very new to Twitter too.
I know that's completely fine. So this is what usually happens because I try to post my charts. So a lot of the times, like it moves, it's normal for a stock to move like $4 or $5, $6, $10, $25. Sometimes uh, some of these stocks they move from 11, $12 to like $8, $9, or $7 to $25 and vice versa. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of range.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon I should, with my small account, US equities? I mean, should I? Well, I mean, Australian ones are small too, but US would be even smaller to start with.
Mm.
Um, would you still recommend me long or short? Should I long? You reckon? Because then I don't have to pay borrow fee.
Honestly, you gotta match your personality. That's a question that I can't answer.
Yeah, that's true.
But you need to get rid of the the mindset and the insecurity about size because in the
Mm.
stock market, it, the size genuinely does not matter, And I know we joked about it, but it
Yeah.
is true because if you are able to be, the key, Angela, is to be profitable consistently.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
imagine if you're consistently profitable with
Yeah.
50 shares and you make $50 every single month. Your net gain in the whole month is $50. Okay, net gain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That what, like, there is some psychological difference increasing your shares from 50 to 5,000 a month, but realistically, Angela, it's the same. The key is to become consistent. The key is when you become that, it's a beautiful, beautiful sport. It's the most gorgeous, marvelous thing that we can do
Mm.
because you have developed the skill to be consistent. And then at that point, you will kind of realize that sizing doesn't matter, and it did not matter. And I'm kind of giving you just like a bit of an advice, a heads up, that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
So say if I put another 5 grand in my account, say I wanted to, if I'm doing very well in the next couple of weeks,
No,
um,
horrible idea.
system.
Horrible idea. You need to be
Okay.
profitable consistently for 3 months, Angela. Most people lose their
3 months.
money.
Okay.
Most people lose all their money. And I know you've been trading for a long time, but I know at the
Yeah.
same time you have blown up and you are going to the new market.
Mm.
So you need to
Yeah.
adjust and you need to train yourself. You don't seem like a person that has ego. So I don't know. That's from the conversations that we had. So you need to just
The
become.
primary market is still Australian market, because that's what I can devote my most of the time to. Yes,
Okay.
market is in the midnight. I really focus. So the Aussie market, yeah. If say okay. So are you suggesting to just use that $5,000 to make it consistent and profitable for 3 months before I add
Yeah.
more funding?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. And then you don't need more funding. With if you get your behavior right, you don't need funding. You could grow that. It will naturally grow.
Yeah.
It will naturally
Yeah.
positively grow.
Mm,
So
that's
100%,
very
it's not
true.
a good idea to add more. You need to become profitable, consistent. You need to control the the issues, and then you can move forward with it.
Yeah.
Is this your main source of income?
No, I still work on the weekend, but not at the moment because of the pandemic. I don't have many
What
shifts
do you what do you
available,
do?
but
What do you do for work?
I'm a medical scientist.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. Mm.
So you
I have been trading full time lately, like in the last few months or so.
mhm, mhm.
It really turned out to be,
Medical science in the research department?
yeah, research.
My my little niece, she's in that department as well, but then she's in Sweden. And
Okay,
she
okay.
goes to USA, and I think she went
Um,
to Australia, a bunch of places.
mm,
Her company sends.
okay.
So
It
yeah,
is a brain training job, or brain training. I think. Us trading is just it's very similar, but not as stressful. I mean, it's just stressful if you want to do very well.
which
Um,
in
yeah.
research,
Your pardon?
which is stressful, stock or research?
For me, research is more stress so
Interesting.
far.
Oh, you use the J line. Rejection stop should be placed just below the J line. Yeah. Ah,
Mm.
that's the other thing, man. You gotta this J line stuff. What's J line that you got? Is that from J Trader?
Yeah, from J Trader.
Okay. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He's a very good guy. There's I don't bash nobody, nothing. But there's
know him.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. There's a
Have
trading
you been
platform.
to his room? Have you been to his room?
No, I haven't, but I know a lot of traders. Um, I know I've had access to every single chat room and everything. But what I was just gonna say, Angela, is that uh, something. It's a reference point, the J line, and it is a useful tool. But it's nothing in trading is
lines.
nothing in trading is concrete. If you don't know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? It's
Okay.
never will be there. So just take that with a grain of salt. The line, the metrics, or the two. Some people
Yeah.
say 20 EMA or 50, 20-minute chart. 20 EMA is king. This is king. That's king. Nothing is king.
Yeah.
It's the price action, and
Yeah.
that stuff is there. And I see that Z1IP you added, and then you added to a loser. I don't know if that was part of your plan.
That is the which one? I'm
Z
looking at it now. What did I do
Z1P
wrong? Let me see.
Z1P.
Um, I did not. Did I add to a loser? No, I did not add to a loser. I mean, second trade. So the first trade and the second trade, third trade. I
Was
did
this
a
part
few
of your
trades
plan? Was this part of your plan
on
though?
this sticker.
Was it part of your plan to slowly scale in?
It was just trading on one stock. I was trying to catch the short side and catch the long side both ways.
Uh,
That
yeah.
was primarily what I was doing there. There I was trying to catch the short because it was I thought that was the top this trade. I thought that was the
But let me
but
ask you
what I
this
did.
question, Angela. So you see that
Yeah,
second circle that you drew?
yeah.
That at
It
12:30?
means
The second circle you drew at 12:30? At that
12:30. Yeah,
yeah, at that point,
it's a long.
oh, it's a
That was a
okay.
beautiful trade. That was a nice trade. Sorry, I circled it wrong. I bought at the just before it took off, and I
So
sold at the top.
what?
That was a perfect trade. The run trader was the first one, the first circle. You can't see very clearly. I think I
Your first trade was a
shorted
shorted first one.
shorted at the top.
Yeah.
I shorted at the bottom. Yeah, I shorted it. Yeah, I shorted it somewhere at the bottom and just took off. I
You
had a
bought at the bottom.
wide stop loss, 5 points, and that really.
I'm confused. The first one was a short and you bought at the bottom.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, you bought at the
I
bottom.
thought it would go down further because this stock had parabolic increase in the last week or two. It has gone up to like 100% share price. And that there was a resistance at the top, just around there, 330 on daily chart. So I thought this chart was definitely going down, given it has gone up so much. So I was betting on it to go down. So I shorted there, but it went to the other side.
You shorted at 288.
I shorted at 230, I think, and I sold it at
230.
three. I shorted at 338 ish. Yes,
380?
328 ish,
Are
and I
we sure it's the
sold.
same chart? Because it doesn't look like the highest it went is like 295.
Which one is it? Z1P?
Yeah,
Which one? The different chart I'm looking at. Oh, so
Z1P.
there are two. Sorry, there are two Z1Ps. Right. Sorry. Now I'm with you. Sorry, I was looking at the second Z1P chart that I sent you.
I was like, what? Okay.
Okay. Yes. This one was a short. Yes.
Okay, so the
This
second trade that you added,
trade.
so the second circle that you did, you added to a
Yeah.
loser. Was this, be honest, was this part of your plan?
Let me think. I don't quite remember. That was a short. The first one was a short, and second one was shorting again.
Right, but what I'm asking is when you added higher, was that part of your plan?
I never added anything. I was just out straight, 100% out, and then restarted.
Oh, the green arrow is a buy.
Green arrow was the correct stop loss. I think I put my stop loss elsewhere. Sorry, because I manually drew it and I.
It's okay.
So what it is? Sorry, the first red in the second circle. The red was the entry. Sorry, that was a short entry. I'll just put the wrong color. That's a short entry. So the first red um, dot on the second circle, that was the entry, short. Then it got stopped out at about 285-ish.
Oh, you stopped out 285,
Yeah.
and then
I
you
put the
shorted
stop
again.
loss.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, and then you shorted again, and then you tried again. Okay, okay, that's good. As long as, because I was gonna say, is one of the rules that I have is I don't add to a loser, especially, and that's my high risk
No,
trade.
no, I reshorted. So the thing that I did wrong for that trade is the third one. The third one, I shorted there, right? I shorted again there because I know this share is definitely going down. I was just trying to recycle my shares.
Right,
So I shorted there, but I was stop loss put a bit too tight with a green arrow. I think it was just below that. Put the stop loss at $2.89, just before the pointing arrow is
right.
a little bit too tight.
But why did you get stopped out? Did you cover break even or what?
I covered break even. I actually tiny little loss.
Okay.
That was just was a bad trade, wasn't it? Because I did not really follow my plan very well.
Well, as you can see from the original first comment that I made, that's one of the
Mm,
problems that you have. You have to follow your plan. Even if it's a break-even trade or even if it's a tiny green, it that's not good because you're losing confidence by constantly
mm,
having to change plan. It's healthier. It's healthier to take that loss. So if you took a short at 228 and you had the 290 or 289 whatever as a risk at the green
mm,
arrow, it's better for you to take that loss. Just like the last time, you cut it early and then you may think and be like, I'm proud of myself that I cut my loss early. I saw it in the earlier before it happened. That's
mm,
not
mm,
good.
mm.
So why is that not good, Angela? Because in scenarios like this will happen over and over again for you.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. That's my biggest problem.
So when you go to trade zero,
Mm,
add your daily loss as well. Add a daily max
mm,
loss.
mm.
So I don't know if you were taking notes on the key issues that you have, but it tends to be
I have.
something
Yeah, I have been
something that
taking those.
okay, something that's a repetitive pattern, and
Mm,
uh, and if you work on
very,
that,
very true.
you would do better. So we've been for an hour and 12 minutes.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry for
No
taking
worries.
this long.
No, 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 it's all good. I'm more than happy to. It was a good conversation, good laughs. Thank you. Do you have any other
Thank you so
questions?
much.
Any two questions or one questions that you feel free to ask?
Oh, no, I think it's taking you too long. Maybe
No,
next
no, no,
time.
no, 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 no. It's not too long. It's
No, I
I
think
do this. I do this simply because I enjoy this. I like helping because I have been through a lot of struggles myself as well, a lot of problems. So it makes me happy that I'm able to give back. So you're in a way helping me by,
much.
allowing me to give back. So if you have any questions,
Thank you
any
so much.
thoughts, I'm more than happy
If I
to.
have any questions, I'll text you. I'll DM you if that's okay. If that's not too much trouble.
Um, I'm being very honest. Sometimes I like stay away from Twitter. I'm not as active, but yeah,
Okay.
shoot a message, and I'm more than
Discord.
happy.
How about Discord? Like if I DM you on
Yeah,
Discord.
we could always, yeah, you could always shoot me a message there, and we could, if you want, sometimes we could jump on voice, and I'm happy to answer questions if anything you have.
Thank you so so much. Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
No worries,
Particularly to a
anytime.
stranger. That was
Hey,
very nice of you.
it was one day when I come to Australia, I might say hi because I think
Oh,
this
that would be
year
great.
I don't travel, and one of my really good friends, No Fear Roy, uh, there's a small group of us as traders. They're all good traders. Uh, this year I'm gonna travel for sure. I'm gonna go to Europe backpacking, and if
Maybe
I,
next year. Wait for the pandemic to finish.
as my friend says,
It's
you'll,
scary.
yeah, I think, yeah, but I'm definitely gonna go to
Scary
Europe.
to travel now. Maybe next year, I say.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. Medical
Mm. Life is
expertise.
more important than anything, I think, than enjoy.
Yeah. The weird part is I've never traveled. I don't think I've ever, like, as a kid we moved around a lot. So I've never been a
Yep.
fan of traveling, but now I'm getting older, and I'm like, man, like before you get old and die and get white hair, or before you have a family or things,
Yep. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go travel. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
good. You got to enjoy your life.
100%,
Mm. We'll
100%.
settle down.
Yeah. Alrighty, Angela, really good talking to you.
All right, how do I call you? What's your name?
You can just say Afghan. Afghan.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Afghan.
No worries.
All right,
All right.
I'll keep you posted with my progress.
Okay, sounds good. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Alrighty, amigos. Another. Hopefully, it was a long, interesting one. And sometimes I realize that uh, it's it's a very uh, small things make a big difference. So for anybody that's just listening and driving, or just listening to this while they're driving, do adjust to the chart and the risk management. So adjust your sizing based on the chart where the stop needs to be, because the stock market doesn't care what our perspective is or what our thing is. So we have to adjust to the chart. So we have to adjust our position sizing. So, and that's one of the things that was really helpful. And I never thought about it till now, but it's like something that I printed out and I put in front of my desk, and it made heck of a difference. So I had like a 25-cent loss. How much? So I had my. So you write down how much risk you want, whether it's 100, 200,000, whatever it is. You write that dollar amount down, and then you're like, if this was a 25-cent stop, 10-cent stop, how many shares can I do? If it's a 25-cent stop, how many can I do? If it's a 35-cent stop, 30, 35. You write that down, and then eventually just becomes second nature. So for anybody listening to that, that was beneficial. Um, I think it's a key thing, and risk management tends to be everybody's issue. It is because we're dealing with our inner demons and inner emotions. So I hope this was beneficial. And if you liked it, you made it this far. The odds are very low people made it this far. Uh, Please click like, subscribe, notification bell, because you made it this far. That means like this was beneficial. The odds of you staying for an hour and like 17 minutes, it's crazy. So, and share with somebody that you think may benefit. Take care, amigos. Have a wonderful day. Bye.